Okay. Okay, Celebrew. If I'm squeaking, I'm not windy. This is just my latest thrift find. And I've just kind of fallen a bit in love with it. And I wanted to wear it to the video. I've not gone anywhere. I'm at home, I'm in my bedroom, but I feel like it's orange. Do you love orange? But I'm really hoping that my camera cooperates with this Q&A. This is the third time that I have attempted to film. Well, no, this is the third time that I have filmed this video because my camera keeps corrupting the footage. So I asked for some questions on Instagram about a month ago now. Just before I get into the video, I just want to say I will be chatting about health, food, weight gain, weight loss, all those kind of things, mental health. So if you are dealing with something that you might be triggered by, then please don't watch this video. And yeah, take care, and I'll see you in another video. The first question is, how do you cope with Faisal being on tour a lot? I won't lie and say it's the easiest thing. He's been gone for almost a week now. It's not the easiest thing in the world, I won't lie. However, I do have some kind of tips on how I cope, which might be useful. The very first day and night that he goes, I just let myself cry, scream, wail, eat a takeaway, watch The Notebook. Just like, I really sit in my feelings for that first day. I really like mope. Because what I used to do, sorry, I'm on a spinning chair as well. The temptation to just answer the questions like this, I think I'd find it so much more fun if I was literally just answering the questions like this. What I used to do was just absolutely plan the busiest social day and week for like when he goes, like, as a distraction. But then what happened was is my feelings would catch up and then I'd get like really upset. So what I now do is just get it over within the first night, and then from then on I actually find it quite easy. It definitely gets easier the more it happens. We're used to spending long periods of time away from each other. It just means that when we're together, we're like glued to each other. But yeah, I've taught myself to create a list of things to do to get excited about when he goes. This is kind of like a brain training exercise, because obviously I don't want him to go. I'm married to him. I want him to be here all the time. But you kind of have to like give yourself reasons to be excited for it. So for instance, the things that I will look forward to is having the whole bed to myself. It's me and Turts in the bed. Turtle, my cat, sleeps on Faisal's pillow when he's not there, so that's really cute. What else? I fall asleep every night listening to ASMR, which is bliss. I love it, but I just don't think Faisal would get on board with that. Actually, I don't think he'd care. He just falls asleep to anything. I will watch all of the shows. I know he's not bothered about watching that much, so like all like the British dramas and the chick flicks and the romance films that I know he's just not that into, I'll just absolutely binge. Like, I've watched Bridget Jones about 3 times in the past week because I just know that he would just not be into that. We eat together when he's here, so I am that kind of person that will eat the same meal for like 3 weeks in a row, like, and not get sick of it. And when he's here, I obviously like to have like a nice balance and variety, so I just have like, I'll just eat the same thing every night for tea for like 5 weeks. At the minute it's pad thai, I'm addicted to it, and I know he's like, oh, I like it, but like not every night. One thing is you have to be comfortable with being on your own, like having that solitude. I love being on my own a little bit too much. Like, I could not see another human for weeks and I would genuinely be fine. I think that's one of the reasons why I've coped so well this past year, not being able to walk. I don't get lonely, so I think that's another big thing as well. It's just enjoying your own company. So I will spend so much more time on myself. Here I will just spend like 3 times as long on my makeup, hair, skincare routine. I will read more, paint more. Yeah, you have to learn to make the most of the time that they aren't here. So I will see my friends twice as much, I'll see my family twice as much. I look forward to it in that regard, but I definitely have had to train myself to be like that. And my favourite thing to do is to plan a list of things to do when he gets back. So I will plan a list of date nights. I'll get him some like surprise presents. I will plan a bunch of stuff to do for when he gets back, so that it gives me something to do, which is exciting. And also it's nice so that when he comes back, because he's obviously exhausted after tour, he's got a bunch of things that I've done for him, which I think is really cool. Next question is, how are you doing generally? How are you doing generally? So much better than I was. This past 10 months, while some amazing things have happened, like I've traveled to like America, Morocco, Turkey, I've met some amazing people, I've had some really cool jobs, but it's been one of the hardest 10 months of my life. I hate sounding like a broken record, but just in case anyone is new, I have been waiting for surgery for suspected endometriosis since I was 10, basically. But I've been on this waiting list for like a year and a half for this surgery, because I've gone from working 4 weeks a month to then 3, then 2, then at one point I could only work for 1 week of the month. That happened, and then I broke my foot, which was misdiagnosed, mistreated, quite horrendously actually, to the point where it's 10 months later and I still can't walk properly. I can do a few steps now, but I have crutches. 10 months is a long time. Initially it was just one tiny little stress fracture, and now we're 10 months down the line and my whole leg is so much smaller than the other one. If I do a few too many steps, which is kind of like 100, my ankle swells up like this. I've now got complex regional pain syndrome, which there's actually no cure for. Long story short, it meant that my income from last year went from, like, say my income was at 100%, it went to like 5%. There were some really horrible times, and I've got an amazing support network around me and a lot of good people in my life, but yet you don't realize how much you take walking for granted. Like, I've gone from doing like 15 to 20,000 steps a day to a couple of hundred, and at some points I couldn't even do any steps, like, at all. It's really miserable, especially when you are freelance or self-employed. You don't get any help from the government, and the Actors Benevolent Fund have quite literally saved my life, so I'm incredibly grateful for them. But yeah, I've been through worse than this, but coming from a really working class like background, building yourself up some kind of life, to have that kind of ripped away from you and it's not your fault, it's just horrendous. But despite all of the stresses, I'm now in a much better place. Like, Faisal and I have recently transformed the flat. It's just me and him, and our cat living here now, so that's all we have to worry about. I'm walking a little bit more now. I have the means to do a little bit more than I was doing now, and I have these orthopedic trainers so I can walk a little bit. I'm doing a lot better than I was. I'm not quite there yet. I do have some incredibly horrendous days. I am often in excruciating pain. It's less than it was, and I just want to walk to the shop and back. Thank you, that's a really lovely question. And when I first answered this question, yeah, it was not good, but now it's a little bit brighter. I can see some light at the end of the tunnel. Where do I think I'm gonna cry? Next question is, where is next on your travel plans? Now, I've said to Faisal for the longest time, if I can ever walk normally again, Petra. I want to go to Jordan so bad. I want to do Petra at Wadi Rum. Oh my gosh. I really want to maybe squeeze in a holiday, just some kind of like week abroad somewhere hot this year, to celebrate mine and Faisal's 1-year anniversary, wedding anniversary, and our anniversary. Just because as soon as we got married last year, well, we had our honeymoon in September, we got married in October, because a few days after we got married, Faisal went on tour to America till like the end of December, I think. He arrived back and my foot was already broken, so the whole time we've been married I've not been able to walk. So I feel like we've not really been able to, obviously we've enjoyed married life, I love being married, but we've actually not properly had a normal start to married life because of everything that's gone on with my room and then the foot. We've both been busy. Faisal's been extremely busy with the band, which is cool, but yeah, I'd love just to go to Egypt for a week or something, just to get a bit of like winter sun. Next question, nicest band in the scene. I have to say I was absolutely blown away when meeting Paramore earlier this year. So Paramore toured the UK, and I actually got to see them twice, which was really cool because Block Party was supporting, which is my absolute favourite band of all time. So seeing Paramore twice as well with Block Party was amazing. But we met Paramore, well, we met them twice at Cardiff and then Manchester. In Manchester it was the whole of Loathe, the girls, and we went backstage to meet them because Paramore are fans of Loathe, which is the coolest thing in the world. Yeah, we met Taylor and Zach a few days before, and then in Manchester we met everyone, including Hayley, and that was the most surreal experience ever because Loathe love Paramore, but then seeing Paramore loving Loathe was you could see it was the most pure evening ever. Because I know we say the scene, I've only met Paramore like once and twice, but the interaction between Loathe and Paramore was the most pure thing. Just sat watching it was just, it felt like such a privilege because they're both big fans of each other. Like, to hear the words that Paramore was saying about their music was incredible. Hayley said something like, I hate to be like a nerd, but can I get a picture of you guys? And Loathe was like, wait, you want a picture with us? And it was amazing. And then we got a group photo as well. I will insert it here because it's a live photo. 2, 1. Yeah.
Oh, I saw that photo. I saw it floating around.
3, 2, 1. I expected to meet Paramore and have a really warm heart afterwards, and that's exactly what happened. They were just so lovely. Also, like, 15-year-old me would be screaming, what? Other nice bands in the scene. To be fair, you won't really see me hanging out with anyone who isn't lovely. The majority of people are just lovely. Special shout out to the bands that I've worked with. So you've got Nova Twins, Creeper, Vukovi, Holding Absent, Static Dress. Special shout out to Kid Bookie and the band, because I toured with them last year. Was that last year or the year before? No, it was last year. And they were so, I feel like they're like big sister. I just couldn't get over how like sweet those guys were. I have a really warm space in my heart for them. Massive shout out to so many of the bands I've done music videos with or for, like Void of Vision, Holding an Absence again. There's loads. And obviously the Loathe boys, I'm very, 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 very grateful to them. It's because of them that I went to Las Vegas. I've never been to America before. I've never been able to afford to go that far away, and then the band like pays for the wives and girlfriends to come out, which A is the coolest thing ever, B, very, very, very kind of them to do that. I am so grateful for them. They are, again, just some of the sweetest, insane people. They are absolutely insane. Insanely talented, and they're just insane. I'm getting sweaty now, but I don't need to take the jacket off because it's gonna ruin the vibe. This is a really good question. Have you gained weight now that you can't walk? Yes, yes I have. I've gone from 15 to 20,000 steps a day to very little. With all the steps I was doing as well, I was also going to the gym to do yoga, but still the same size. I'm the same size I have been since I was a teenager, but I have gained weight, and I won't, to be fully transparent, I'm not happy with it. I don't feel like myself. I don't look like myself. When like there's a mirror there, I just looking up and down, I don't really feel like myself. I'd love to sit here and be like, I'm just embracing my new body. I am grateful for my body, but it doesn't feel like me and I don't like it. And it's because I work hard to keep active and to keep fit and healthy. I still am. I'm still a healthy size. I'm still a healthy weight. But what was toned is now not. Where is my butt and my face and my body is my job a lot of the time, and I don't feel confident. I don't look like me, I don't feel like me, and I really, really, really want to lose the weight I've gained. It's not very much. I have a long recovery ahead of me, and that weight will naturally fall off as soon as I'm able to move more. My eating habits haven't changed. If anything, I'm eating less, obviously, because I don't need as much food, but I'm eating the same. I eat really healthy. I have a very good diet. So I'm kind of just trying to exercise, do what I can to try and shift this weight. When is your next festival / gig? I am seeing Busted next Friday, and I'm so excited. That was my first ever concert 20 years ago, and now I'm gonna go and see him again. Faisal, one of the perks of being married to someone with more connections than I have is getting into shows that I otherwise probably couldn't get into. I missed tickets for Busted, but thank God I'm able to get in, and I cannot wait. After that, I've got, hopefully gonna see Hard Fight. Who else is touring? HA, Don Broco, Ocean Grove. Yeah, and then the next thing I know I definitely have tickets for Bring Me and The Blackout. Yay! Got a few questions on makeup favourites. I will show you, because I'm right by, no, first of all I have to show you this. Where you been, look? I've not even opened it. I don't think I'm ever gonna get it out the box. It's glittery lip gloss that's lavender scented. I'm sorry. I just feel like I can't open it. This is from Hot Topic in Las Vegas. Do you want to do a special shout out to this setting spray? It's the e.l.f. Dewy Coconut Setting Mist. It smells amazing. It does set your makeup really dewy. It gives it a glow back if you've used a lot of powder. I wouldn't say it's so obviously if you don't want anything to move, Urban Decay All Nighter, your makeup will not move. if I'm going out in the morning and probably not coming home till the next evening, I will still look great because of this setting spray. But this, if you want the dewy glow. Oh, this, now that we're getting into autumn winter, this Too Faced highlight blusher thing. Can you see that? I think it came free with something. And then finally, Anything by Rare Beauty. Selena Gomez makeup range. This is the tinted moisturizer I've been using every time I wear makeup. I've been wearing this since like the end of May, and I'm only now thinking that I'm starting to run low. In fact, I think I'm probably halfway through, and it has the expiry date on it, which is next August, so I think 1.5 years is the shelf life. I love that. There's very few ingredients. And the blush, I've got this blush on today. It is Encourage, but Anything by Rare Beauty. I think they're specifically designed with disabilities because they're so easy to open and close. Because you need such little amounts of the product, they last a really long time as well, so definitely Rare Beauty. How did you and Faisal meet? The funny thing is I saw him when he was in Hard and Absence, when they supported Young Guns, I think, and don't remember it. And also I was invited to one of their shows on their tour before lockdown, and just before I went to get the train, something in my gut was like, don't bother, and I didn't go. I can't remember who invited me, but then now I realise that it wouldn't have been the right time. Do you remember that period in 2020 when everyone became friends online? I made so many friends in 2020 who are now my in real life friends, just because you were just following mutuals and stuff like that. We were all chronically online, very embarrassing. And we followed each other because we had loads of mutual friends, and that was basically it really for a bit. And he replied to one of my stories of a photo I took of Brandon Boyd from Incubus in 2011, and he was like, that's a really cool photo. And then nothing happened. And then I was videoing on my story, and then he replied with a laughing face. And then he replied like, oh, like, on a serious note though, if ever you want anyone to talk to, I'm here. And I remember thinking, I don't know you, but it was cute. And then we just started speaking more regularly as friends. When we first started chatting, it was so, as friends, I was intrigued by him. I thought he was really cool, vice versa, I'm assuming. And then I was in Liverpool shooting on a music video. He was up in Liverpool from Cardiff doing something with Loathe. And then I remember I thought it was just one of those kind of like blanket offers, like, oh, next time you're up, like, let's hang out. And I was like, yeah, okay. And then I was like, oh, I'm coming up next week. And he was like, oh, me too. And then he messaged me on the day, like, he was like, do you want to go for a walk or something? And I was like, yeah. And I was staying at my sister's at the time, and he came round, and I remember answering the door, and this strange rush of emotion came over me. I just felt this like insane wave of energy, and I didn't know what it was. I obviously answered the door and I was like, wow, he's beautiful. But again, we never started out as anything romantic. It was just we both loved photography, had mutual friends, and that was kind of it. And we spent quite a lot of time together in a short amount of time. And then after a few times of meeting each other, we were like, oh no. And I remember like my heart almost sinking when I realised I fancied him, because we'd both had these conversations before, like not getting involved romantically with anyone in the music industry. It's just, if you know, you know. We weren't bothered about that. Like, we'd come out for like long-term relationships, all this kind of stuff. And yeah, then we realised that we were made for each other. Yeah, the whole thing started out so innocent. I have such fond memories of that whole time, of us both living. I was living in Warwickshire, he was in Cardiff, but we were going up to Liverpool for work, and it was like winter, so it was romantic, and it just, I don't know, we actually had only met like 2 times, I think, or 3 times before like we first kissed, but it felt like months. It was when we actually got together. I remember we were both saying things like, oh, we've been like so slow with this, like it feels really nice. And then I remember thinking, no, it hasn't, it's been weeks. And we've seen each other like 3 times in that period. But yeah, I have so many lovely stories of first meeting him. Yeah. Why weren't you at Download? I wasn't at Download this year because festivals this year for me were so much hassle. I've been to quite a lot of festivals. I basically just went to every festival that Loathe played at in the UK, and then Sick New World in Las Vegas. It was just so hard. Being on crutches was one thing, being in so much pain was another thing, and because it was relatively new for me, I hadn't really got to grips with how to like go to festivals and concerts and gigs having a disability at that time. Yeah, just being on crutches in a huge boot in agony, I just felt like a burden on everyone. No one ever made me feel like that, but I myself just felt like a burden, because I'd gone from like running around festivals as a guest and then with a band or whatever, to like not being able to move, just kind of like sat a lot of the time hearing bands I want to go and see that I physically couldn't because I was in too much pain. And I hadn't bought a ticket, Loathe weren't playing. I was also on holiday, I was in Turkey during downloads, so I didn't get FOMO either, which was good. I'll definitely be there next year though, so. This is an interesting question. Tips on getting into drama school. I never really get questions about this kind of stuff. I don't really talk about it too much online, but I would really research the schools you're going to and the places that you're auditioning, because I spent hundreds of pounds over the few years that I was auditioning to drama school, going to London and going to auditions in London, knowing full well that I would never want to live in London. I would move there for work if a job came up there, absolutely fine, but I would never want to root myself in London. It's too much for me. At so many of the auditions, it was full of people that I just did not align with, resonate with. There was a lot of like mammy daddy horsey. Saying that though, if you can afford to do a few auditions in London, even if you know you don't want to live there, it's really, really good experience. Also, like, can I just say that when I was auditioning at drama school, you didn't have like, you weren't on Google Maps or like in Ubers or anything like that. I had printed out AA maps, and for some reason that was less stressful than Google Maps now. Don't be afraid of not going straight after college or A levels, because you will find that those years, you will find that you gain so, I know it sounds cliche, but you gain so much life experience in either the year 2, 3 or 4, however many years after you finish your education before you go to higher education. You learn so much. Like I had 2 years before I went, and I just enjoyed life. Like I didn't have the pressure of having to go to uni. I was just working. I was working in New Look. I was a classroom assistant at a theatre school. I went on loads of holidays, loads of gigs, festivals, so many nights out. I was up and down the country, up and down the UK, visiting my friends at uni, like living that uni experience through them, but then not having to do any assignments and stuff like that. And I really am so glad that I just had a couple of years of just getting off my face, going to festivals and stuff, because by the time I did go to drama school, sorry, that's going to be really annoying me doing that, isn't it? By the time I went to drama school, I was so ready to just get stuck in and learn that I really made the most of my education for those 3 years, because I'd had that like couple of years where all my friends were at uni. I was living that life, but I was ready to make the most of my education when I got into drama school, and I appreciated it so much more. Drama school's not for everyone, it's not for the faint-hearted. I've never ever worked so hard in my life. Oh my gosh, it is ruthless. So yeah, I feel ready. Don't feel the pressure to go straight away. I know family and friends and all this kind of stuff can make you feel like you should be doing something straight away, but really, really follow your gut. Don't be put off if you have a few years of no's, because that yes will come. Oh, with your monologue and your audition pieces, don't overlearn them. Don't learn them so much that you become stuck and it's stale and you're in a routine, because you will sit or stand there, you will do your piece and they will redirect you, and if you're stuck, if you're so used to performing something so much and, you know, I say this line here and then I say this line there, it will throw you off. So know all of your words, but be loose enough with it that if you are given a note or a direction, that you can take it like that. You need to remember that they don't want a finished product at drama school, they want to see potential. So you want to be giving good monologues, good pieces, songs or whatever it is, but they want to know that you can adapt and you can improv and, you know, you're with it, you've got the energy. Be ready to just like embrace everything. If they tell you to be a fish in a heat wave that's dried up on the edge of an urban city skyscraper, do it. Don't, you know, giggle if you want to giggle, but embrace everything and just go for it. They want to see someone who is willing and who's excited. And who listens as well. You know, you might have that adrenaline of being like, oh my god, and you just might like, yeah, but make sure you're listening as well, because they will look out for that. But yeah, most importantly, take the pressure off. Just don't be too hard on yourself. You deserve it, and if you really want it, just go for it. Just go for it. Believe in yourself. I really need to wrap this up. There's some questions I just don't feel comfortable answering on here. Were you a fan of Loathe before you met? Yeah, kinda. I knew of them. I knew of some of the songs. I had like a few songs on my playlist, but I wasn't like a massive fan. I kind of appreciated them, but I never gave them the time that they deserved until Faisal and I got together, and then I was like, oh shit. Now I'm one of their biggest fans. I think they're one of the best bands in the world. Watching them live, getting to see them live as often as I do is such a pleasure, because I'm obviously supporting my husband, but I'm like a fan. I'm genuinely a fan. So I'm like, do you want kids? Yes, I do. I'm in that conflicting stage of like feeling really broody as a person. Like I really want a baby, and I feel ready mentally. But not that you're ever ready mentally, but you know, I don't need them on police. I don't want to bring a kid into this world. Certainly don't want to raise my kids in the UK if I can help it. I don't want to live here. I want to be out of the UK in the next 5 years. So I don't want to raise kids in the UK. I also don't want them going to like a comprehensive school we have in the UK, or a private school, any kind of school in the UK. I don't want my kids going to school where they're trained to just do a 9 to 5 and that's it. I don't want their creativity like taken away from them. I don't want them to have to like ask to go to the toilet and sometimes be told no. I just don't agree with the education system we have here. It doesn't praise people's talents. If you're not good at exams, then apparently you're not smart. And some of the smartest people I know on this earth did not get good grades at school. So yeah, but yeah, Faisal and we both really want kids. Are you religious? No, I'd say I'm spiritual, darling. There are certain aspects and morals from religions that I love and take on board. So treat others how you want to be treated. Always try to be the best person you can be. Those kinds of things I take on, but other than that, I'm very spiritual. What is your biggest insecurity? Right now, it is, I'd say, my body. But apart from that, I don't really have insecurities. The things I used to be insecure about are now things I love, like my cheeks, my lips, my legs being so muscly. Like I've got bodybuilder's legs. I used to be so self-conscious. I used to get bullied for having big lips and stuff like that. I used to feel so self-conscious about my legs because they're just so like hench. And personality insecurities, don't really care enough to have any. I know not everyone will like me, but I am only ever myself. When is your endo surgery? I would love to know when that is. I have no idea. I know I'm apparently at the top of the waiting list, but I've been at the top of the waiting list for months now. So I don't know. Because of everything going on with my foot, I almost forget about it until it comes to coming on my period. I have to take a lot of medication on my period because, well, leading up to and on my period, I take various different kinds of medication because otherwise I would be in A&E. The amount of times I've been in A&E because of my periods is silly. This is going to be the last question because I am so aware of how long I've been chatting. Want another one? I can do that. But the last question I will answer is, what is it like being married to Faisal? It is the best thing in the world. Saying yes to Faisal was... Actually, that never happened because he never asked me to marry him. But being married to Faisal is the greatest thing on earth. I could not imagine spending my life with anyone else. He is the best thing that's ever happened to me. I am in awe. Every single day I'm in awe of him and his genuine, like, I don't know, he's just the best. If you could picture my dream person, that is Faisal. I never ever thought I would meet anyone that, like, I not only fancy so much but also is like everything I could ever want in a person and more. He's been raised so well by his family. He has these qualities that he doesn't realize he has, and I think it's because of his background and his heritage and the way he's been raised. He treats me like a goddess, like I'm a queen. Like, I am on a pedestal and he like worships me. I never thought I'd ever be the kind of woman to want a man to do things for me, but I think that's just because of like toxic feminism and stuff like that. But without trying to sound like a spoiled brat, he everything I want he does for me, everything I want he gets for me, and vice versa. I'll do anything for him. But yeah, it's just so easy. Like I sometimes, does this sound bad? I sometimes forget because life with him is so easy that I sometimes forget that I'm married to someone, because like we're just so connected, and neither of us were ever fussed about getting married. I've been engaged before to, again, a really, really amazing human, but it just didn't work out, and I just thought marriage just wasn't anything I was bothered about. But we didn't even get engaged, we just had a conversation. We were like, should we just get married? And we booked it for Halloween. Not even trying to be like goth, that was the only date they had free. I don't know, even the wedding day, which wasn't a proper wedding day, was the best day of my life. I did a Q&A on it, so I'll link it below. If anyone's after a low-key wedding, or if you're like an introvert and you don't want attention on you, I will link it below. And the coolest thing is that how we did our wedding, how we got married, had already inspired people like quite soon after we got married, like people that were getting engaged or got engaged, who didn't want like a big dramatic or expensive wedding, were like, wait, you guys did that? That's so cool. Like, we ended the day with just some friends here eating pizza. We were in bed before midnight. It was amazing. But yeah, it's the coolest thing being married to him. I'm gonna end this video here because I've worked probably really, really long. Thank you for watching if you made it this far. Yeah, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, rest of your evening, rest of your life, and I will see you in a new video soon. Love you.